Hello, everybody. Hello, hello. I know it sounds like there's at least 1 million people in this room, and it's close to that, I want to tell you. Hey, we're talking about tonight. This is hugely important. This is a great valley, and we've had great expansion, but we want to keep the ball rolling. We want to find the right people to do that, make sure that we have the employees, make sure that we're nurturing this creative workforce that we have. And I do want to thank our friends and so many of them, the Arts Council and Link, all doing, so many organizations doing great work. I'm going to go right to you, Brett Ludlow. Liquid, great company. You do a lot of volunteering for this chamber. But you stayed here and you don't have to. Why the Lehigh Valley?
There's a lot to that. I mean, we have some great clients in the Lehigh Valley, so really great brands that you can work with and you can work in as a creative that do great, exciting things. We have a great educational system, so we find a great pipeline of talent, internships, new hires from all of our colleges and universities and the community colleges, and just the balance of work and life that you can find here.
Lindsay Watson, lots of opportunity for people, I guess you would say. What are your challenges? I mean, I know you're working hard to find and nurture these businesses, creative businesses, and the workforce within it. Your challenges right now?
Well, thanks for having us, Tony, and that's a great question. One of the biggest challenges we found is working with companies who are okay with looking for talent right outside of the Lehigh Valley. So part of what we do as a staffing agency is make sure we support our clients as partners. And sometimes the talent that they're looking for may be interested in moving here. And so it's just a matter of having a couple of extra conversations to make them feel comfortable to find talent and bring them here. Not just have them work from where they are, but we specialize in helping candidates to relocate to the community.
Is it as challenging, I'll use that term, or do you have to be more creative, I think, placing people? You know, the days of here's the job, here's the pay, that's it, are over.
Yes, yes, yes. The simplicity is not the same.
Gotcha.
It's a couple of extra steps, but because we live in such a great community, it's just a matter of us communicating all the benefits that the Lehigh Valley has to offer.
Holly Kosik, you know, this is what you do. And Lutron, a phenomenal company, great impact on this valley. Same question, is it a different world in terms of recruiting people today? And when you're all in on this effort, and why?
Yeah, so it is a different world in talent acquisition these days, and I think to the team's point, now there's just such a different dynamic where people really have to understand the value that the community brings to them. And you know, as being in the Lehigh Valley, you have this incredible location that you can live in, affordable housing, and still be centrally located to two major cities of Philadelphia and New York City, and still get that cultural diversity that a lot of creative talent is looking for.
Do you find people that say, boy, when they realize what's here, you know, the ballparks, the arenas, this is more than I thought. You know, they have perception, they want to draw sometimes Allentown, if you will, they have that perception. But do you find that people happily surprised, this place is a great place to live?
Oh my gosh, absolutely. And with the help of a lot of our partners like Link, there's a tremendous amount of value that people start to see, and they start to plant their roots here, especially as all of these cities are growing tremendously, like Easton and Allentown and Bethlehem, with the dollars being invested to bring a lot of that, you know, different things here to the community.
Yeah, Monique Saunders Marino, Allen grad like me. I'm so impressed, and so see you doing such great things. Your thoughts on this? I think, you know, we've got a lot of different opportunities to bring creative people here. I love the work that Link does in terms of trailing spouses, and you would probably see that often. But your thoughts on this whole dynamic?
Thank you for having me, and yes, to Alan.
Yeah.
So as a member or on the staff of the Lehigh Valley Community Foundation, we've been investing in the Lehigh Valley for over 50 years. And one thing that we've known as a priority is the creative sector, and investing in the arts in the Lehigh Valley. Like Holly mentioned, being set up between Philadelphia and New York puts us in a prime spot. And so as a partner with the Pennsylvania Council on the Arts, we've been able to administer funding for creative entrepreneurs who are looking to start businesses and grow their businesses. And we understand that is an important thing right now.
That's a great point. The funding from the Council of the Arts, again, feeling like this is an opportunity, this is a community that can do more, welcome more, lift up more, if you will, the artistic community.
Absolutely. The pandemic has actually really made it even more difficult for artists and those who own creative businesses to really sustain themselves and grow their businesses. And so we offer grant funding up to $2,000 for the grantees, and it also links them with small business consulting services that will allow them to help grow their businesses.
Gotcha. So when I think of this, Brett, in your business, creativity is really important. I was thinking about that. When we talk about the different employee, you're coming up with incredible ideas how people can do business better. First of all, talk about what Liquid does and what this creative workforce means to you.
It's the backbone of our company. We're a digital agency, so we work with regional, global, and national brands on all things digital marketing. So our creative workforce is doing social media, branding, video production, animation, bringing brands to life. They need the ability, they need the tools, they need the resources, they need the environment to do so. I think there's a lot of companies that now that are providing that environment for people to be more creative, people to be more flexible, people to kind of have what they need to do the best job they can here, right in the region.
Lindsay, is there a greater opportunity that we're missing in this community in terms of lifting up upstarts from minority-owned businesses? I get the feeling that we could be better there, and it's a great opportunity both in this artistic side in a big way and in general.
That's a great question. So I'll try to answer it as quickly as possible, right? So when it comes to this community, there is an energy and a commitment to diversity that I haven't experienced in the other communities I've lived in.
Great. So you're we're not giving us an A yet, but you're mildly impressed.
There's a commitment, right? Absolutely. And who am I to give the final grade?
Yeah,
but
I gotcha.
in terms of the commitment, there's a foundation there for us to grow from. And I will say we have fantastic clients, and they always will ask for us to prioritize staffing for diverse talent. They want to make sure that they are accurately representing their entire candidate pool for every role. Our clients are, and we feel as though we have an obligation to make sure to continue that flow in that pipeline so that we can help the community to grow and diversify as well.
That's a great question. So Holly, I'm sure you feel the same thing, that you're looking for a diverse labor pool, number one. And number two, talk about, I love this trailing spouse piece where people don't realize when two working professionals come to a community, it's not only the job that I got, but what's my partner's job, and do they have an opportunity?
Yeah, so there's a few pieces to that, and as it relates to the diversity element, we want to make sure that as a company that our workforce represents the general population, right? So that we represent that diversity of thought, and that we're inclusive and making sure that all ideas are heard to
And
really
do you see
elevate
that,
that.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but do you see that emphasis changing? I mean, has that grown in terms of importance?
Yeah, absolutely. As we continue to grow and evolve, that fuels our innovation.
Sure.
And as it relates to bringing in a partner into the area, that's incredibly important because, that is a unit, and together they have to feel comfortable in the area, and making sure that there's equitable placement where they can build, their life in the area is a really critical piece that is a puzzle to make sure that happens.
Monique, I can feel your excitement with your nodding and so on. Tell this group, or tell our people out there, what is the excitement from your perspective? Why this is such a great opportunity and you are all in?
I am all in, and this is such a great opportunity because it's investing in the workers and business owners of the Lehigh Valley, and it is investing in them in a diverse way, covering individuals of all walks of life, all backgrounds, nationalities, and of all incomes as well. And I think that's really important. We've seen such growth in the Lehigh Valley in the past few decades, and we want to continue to support our residents that are living here and make this a great place to live.
Yeah, and you're an example. I want to ask you real quickly. Went to Allen High School. What made you stay here in the Valley? Thank God. But what is it that kept you here?
Well, you know what? Like many, I would say students who grew up here in the Lehigh Valley, I did venture out. I moved to Pittsburgh, Phoenix, New Jersey. But you know what? There was no place like the Lehigh Valley. What I found with this being home is that I could really have access to some of the best companies to work for, some of the best education, some of the most affordable housing, as Holly said, and I could start my family here. A lot of those places, that wasn't always realistic. And it was great because as I found that I was moving back and I came to that realization, so many other students that I grew up with were coming to that same realization and are coming back to the Lehigh Valley.
Yeah, I got two daughters that did that.
Yeah, a lot of urban areas are suffering and not able to do that.
Yeah, Brett, so if someone's watching and thinking, geez, I don't know, Liquid seems like a high tech, can I get in that lane? Do you find sometimes you've taken a chance on an employee and maybe didn't have all the skills right there in the resume, but really have grown? So I guess my point is, when they want to take a chance and reach out?
Yeah. 100%. Yeah, we have, there's certain jobs that we have that you can start in from a whole different industry and come in. And if you have certain skill sets, we can teach you the liquid ways or how to work in a digital agency. There's others that you can do learning and development inside the office, outside the office, at some of these great organizations or colleges or universities. So we'll put you on that path to get to where you want to be. And if we have employees that want to raise their hand and say, I don't like what I'm doing, I want to try doing something over here, we get them that training. And there's so many resources around here to train people and develop people. It's just, yeah, it's great.
What is it that makes you say, hey, I'm in, this is good for the Valley, this is an area that we've been missing, and we need to improve our game?
Well, I think it just kind of goes into the history of our business. We are FIA NYC, right? So we started off in New York, and a year in, we realized it was just so tough to start a business. And so my business partner, our CEO, Bill Brown.
I'm sorry, so you can get lost in a large metropolitan area where maybe here you can find your lane? Is that what
That's absolutely it. And so, right, when it comes down to this community and the opportunity here, especially for creatives, my business partner, Bill Brown, saw that opportunity here. We've always specialized in staffing within the creative field and arena and have just continued to grow. But the thing I love about creative staffing, it's technology based. So as long as technology continues to grow and evolve, our great creative staff and candidates here in this community are going to continue to grow and evolve. And to Brett's point, transferable skill set is what we call it in our industry. If you have a skill set in a different industry, you can take that skill set and apply it to another industry and grow and evolve.
Yeah, and I almost cut you off on the Bill Brown thing. I would have never heard the end of that. That would have been a big issue for me, I'll tell you that one. Holly, so the question I have is, sometimes people say that the electronic pursuit of a job these days eliminates people that may be, it's a tight lane. You push the buttons, if you don't hit that button, you can't really find people to the extent that might be a sleeper, if you will, and job potential. Do you try to make your apps a little more loose, that maybe you're bringing in some workforce that maybe you wouldn't have considered before, our skill set?
Yes, I mean, we look extremely closely at our job descriptions, and when you think about the qualifications that go in a job description, we try to have really the baseline minimum requirements for the role that are extremely objective, and leave the rest of it, that subjective, the behavioral, the characteristics, to be evaluated in the interview process. And I think that's really critical to find the right talent that has that growth potential to continue to evolve and contribute in a way that we need.
Gotcha. All right, we got just a couple minutes to go, so about 30 seconds. Your parting thoughts on what we talked about and where we're headed.
I think right now what I've seen in the last 11 years in my career is just basically there's something for everyone. If you want to work for a big company and be in a creative space and have a great career, if you want to work for a startup, if you want to start a business, there are so many resources out there for creatives. And it's really come a long way over the last 10 plus years, and I'm just excited to see where it's going.
And you've decided Lehigh Valley is the place where you want to do that?
Yep, we're not leaving.
Lindsay, your parting thoughts?
Absolutely, we're not going anywhere. We are a part of this community and proud to be. My call to action for companies: be open, be willing to consider candidates that may not have everything, but have that heart and that spirit, because they'll be the ones that will last. My call to action for candidates, especially in creative: invest in yourself. Get those certifications, your Google Analytics, whatever you can for free. Keep adding to your skill set while you're in your role and while you're thinking about the next step, because it's only going to make you more marketable.
Amen to that. Amen to that. Holly, your thoughts, parting thoughts?
So one of my biggest thoughts is that impact, right? So when you think about the Lehigh Valley, and you talked about, being in this region versus a large city, the companies here also give you a chance to make such a large impact and be able to contribute in ways where in a large company, you're oftentimes focused in such a narrow way that you'll realize things about yourself as you professionally develop and have opportunities that you might never have thought of.
Gotcha. Monique, you're going to close us out.
Sure. You know what? They're all right. The Lehigh Valley is a prime place to be, and we need to continue to invest in one another and invest in where we live and work. We are happy to support creative entrepreneurs who are starting their business or trying to grow their business and their audience and revenue. So I'm happy to help anyone. I will walk your hand through this process, get you that grant money, and get you that small business consulting service you're looking for.
Love it, love it, love it. All right. Hey, thank you all of you out there. Thank you to everyone that's involved in this Lehigh Valley Creative Workforce Expo. We need the help. We need to lift each other up. As you heard, it's a great place to be, and we'll keep it growing.